Welcome to This Week in Marketing, where Coach Jason Pantana and I help you modernize your marketing, build your brand, and ultimately win more business. Hey, welcome back to This Week in Marketing. Tom Ferry, Jason Pantana. Today, we're talking about GBP.
Very good.
You down with GBP? Yeah, you know me, right? Google Business Profile. So Jason, we have helped so many people, really going back to the 2020 summit when it was Google My Business or My Page. We have migrated so many people there. We've seen so much success, but I thought it'd be good for us to update people on maybe the 3 core basics and 1 or 2 things that you're seeing that are working, that are a little more advanced for the person that maybe already has it done. But maybe start with like the backstory.
All right, so let's just, your Google business page is wildly important. If you are somebody who wants to get more sellers, specifically calling you to say, hey, come list my property and so forth, you've got to take advantage of Google Business, and here's why. There are about 3.5 billion searches a day on Google, of which 46% are looking for something local.
Super local,
So if you're a local business, real estate or a plumber or whatever, then it really boils down to your Google business page, because you want to win on those key searches because they're literally looking for you. There are lots of ways to buy leads, for instance, who are looking for houses, but it is more difficult to get leads that are actually looking for you. And the benefit of your Google business page is it's free. It's free.
So let's just stop. So last summer, I went out on that little tour and I was all over the country and I'm getting people to raise their hands. How many of you have your GBP already up and running? And I was shocked by how many people had not done it. And it's FRE free, but like everything else that's free, you got to spend some time on it. We're going to get into some of those things in a minute. But if you're watching this and you don't have it done, just Google, how do I fill out my Google business profile? Google will help you do it. It is, when I look at the data from our clients, they're getting more people going to their Google business profile than they are in many cases to their website. Right? And it's happening for free and for organic. So what do they need to do? What's the basics? Then we'll do the advanced.
So the basics are what you just said. They need to just fill out the profile. That's not even that's 0.0
Right.
today.
That's like everything that there is a category for, fill it in.
And just go to business.google.com and hit create and start filling it out. It's that simple. However, it's a ranking game. So ultimately there's other businesses in your area and you want to win on the searches for best realtor near me, real estate agent nearby. Those types of searches are what you're kind of vying to win against. And there's only so many that can rank. And so these are the tricks that I recommend to my coaching clients about how they can position their profile to win above their competitors in the marketplace so they can be the ones to be seen and found by those sellers and buyers and so forth. So tip number 1 is you got to choose the right business category. When you set up your profile, it's going to look like an innocent little field, but it's actually looking for a primary category, and you can establish secondary categories. But depending upon your market, you're going to choose differently because that's actually the number 1 ranking signal Google looks at. If you choose the wrong category, you're just out.
So did they give them too many options, or are you recommending a specific one for the person watching right now?
Yes. So what you need to do is go on your open up Google on your computer and type in a search like real estate agents near me or best real estate agent in your city, whatever it is. And then there's going to be a section of Google where it shows like a little map and 3 business listings. That's where we want you to rank. And above it, it's going to list out what is the primary category they're ranking. It will say like real estate agencies or realtor, or it might say real estate agents. Whichever one you see most common in the top ranking listings, that's the one you choose for your primary category. And then there are others like real estate consultant, things like that you can add as secondary categories. But getting that business category right the first time is a critical step.
All right. So number 1 is basically setting up the profile, but that also includes photos and adding pieces of content, taking every one of your just listed and just sold, all the sort of proofs of success, but also photos, and we're going to get into all of that and more. But it's literally, I know when we first started doing ours, I'm like, when it first started, there was only like 7 or 8 things to fill out. Now there's like 15.
There's tons.
Adding videos, adding products being listings, right? Being things that you want to get out to the marketplace. So are we going to get into that as well?
We can do that right now. So let's make that tip number 2 is you've got to be proactive in terms of contributing more and more content. Like Google Business Page is advantageous in that you can set it up and it's going to have some built-in SEO kind of forever and always. But you can really accelerate the performance of your business profile by adding I call it the 3 Ps typically are post, products, and photos. And then the 4th one is videos. It doesn't really have a P. But
videos.
Videos, yes. But really like photos, add photos all the time. There's data that says that businesses with more than 100 photos added to their profiles get 520% more inbound customer calls. They get over 1,000% more. Yes.
add 100 photos, 520% more phone calls about your business, about listings and sales and what's going on in the marketplace for FREE free.
Yeah.
Now they're going to say what photos?
Well, and I would also say, and how often? Don't do 100 at once. No. They're probably going to suspend your account. Do it over time so that you look like a good citizen of Google, so to speak. But what kind of photos? You're going to add photos of your team, your headshots, just listed, just sold, illustration, like pictures of your houses. You're going to add basically the same stuff that's on Instagram. Can go over there. I'm
going to add another one though. If you own a puppy, you and your puppy, if you go to certain parks, if you like the beer garden, if you drive a Harley Davidson,
absolutely.
The other side of this is it's making sure that the consumer that says, okay, clearly she's a real estate agent in my town. She also likes dogs.
Yeah.
She also has kids that play in the, he also likes to do this.
Yeah.
Remember, like attracts like. So don't limit it to just trying to put up just listings and sales and business stuff.
No.
Be open to sharing some of you, because that's when they say, oh my God, you have young kids, I have young kids, I'd like to buy a house.
Which is why I would say, like whatever's on Instagram is presumably doing just that. So basically whatever's on Instagram, put it there. Also your videos. Now they have limitations, but you should be adding videos. They could be vertical or horizontal. I would do both.
Is it still at like 28 seconds in terms of length?
It's 30 seconds and 75 megabytes is the file size. So you might have to use like Google search a video compressor or just download the video from YouTube after you've already uploaded it.
Yeah.
File size could be an issue. But you want to leverage videos because what we're finding, and it's especially happening in Google Maps on mobile devices, when you're adding photos and videos on the regular, you are going to be seen so much more frequently by customers in the area compared to competitors. It's a must. But it's not just photos and videos, it's also posts. So Google offers a thing called Google Post. Basically, just, again, repurpose your social media content.
It's the same stuff you put on Facebook. It's the same tweet that you put out. It's the same thing on Instagram.
You can actually, like,
TikTok videos and more.
Like, if you have a photo on Instagram, you could actually add it as a photo on Google Business and a post. I don't want to split hairs about that. And the last part is products. They offer products. You can add your listings. They can click to go learn more on your website. But you can also add your standard ongoing calls to action, like search for homes. What's your home worth? Download our buyer guide, download our seller guide, and it can drive traffic to your website. Now, that's a tactic that's going to help more customers reach out to you. The products doesn't really help you rank better, but it definitely helps you, like, once they find you, they're going to do something.
Moving from California to El Paso, Texas, here's the 7 things you need to know, X to Y, and here's what you need to know. 7 things to avoid in selling your property. You're now being the educator. Educators create trust. Trust gets phone calls. It makes sense.
It's relevance.
Let's go to the next one, being mindful of time.
Yes, next one is reviews. So a few things to know about reviews. A, get as many as you can because quantity matters. B, your average star rating really matters. So if you have an average star rating of below 4 stars, sorry, you got to fix that. 4 to 5 stars. You need to get it. You need to get that review count up. Don't get too many reviews at once. They're going to think you're spamming them. They're not going to publish their reviews.
Okay, just to be clear, so if you like emailed your entire database, like some clients did in the early days of 2020, and they were like, "Hey, we take the time to here's the link, review me here," and they got like 1,000 people to respond.
Google's going to be
Google gave them 200, and then in some cases actually shut down their account. So what you want to be thinking about is the daily or weekly routine. Like, hey, every Friday, I asked 3 people that I met that week or transacted with. It's in my calendar every Friday, and you play the long game, because if you're adding 3 or 4 or 5 a week, and you do that 52 weeks in a year, you're going to be blown away by the results.
Absolutely. And when you ask them if you feel like it, to say, hey, can you include some keywords? Like, this is a search engine, so don't just say Jason. Say Jason Pantana.
And add a photo.
Yeah, well, add a photo.
Keywords are things like the ideal review says, we reached out to Jason Pantana to buy a home, to sell our home in city, and the work and everything he did. But if you have those 3 things, think about the impact of that. We want to buy a home in El Paso. We want to buy a home we want to sell our home in, and then Jason Pantana, over and over again. Google's like, oh, keywords, we like this. You show up in the ranks. That's the game. So what's the number 3 thing?
4?
Or number 4. Yes.
All right, number 4. This one's more of an advanced tactic.
That was a good no editing move. Right
that was good. This is more of an advanced tactic, and it also comes with some responsibility on your part, because you can modify your business name. Because here's the deal. Google business pages.
Are you really teaching them this?
I'm really teaching them this because it absolutely works.
I know it does.
But it is a little risky.
It is a little risky.
But
heads up, you heard it here first.
Okay. So Google is actually searching your business name. And if you say something like Jason Pantana, real estate agent, blank city, state, something like that.
Say that again slower, because you talk faster than I do.
Jason Pantana.
What's the yellow light mean?
Yeah, so let's pretend I'm the realtor. I could make my profile Jason Pantana. That's the name of it. Or I could say Jason Pantana, comma, real estate agent - Nashville, Tennessee. Something like that, which is where I live. Technically, I've included a geo modifier, which is Nashville, and I've also included a role modifier, which is real estate agent.
Yeah.
And so my ability to rank on those types of searches goes through the roof. But here's the thing. Google's policies have a no keyword stuffing rule in place. So they basically say, like, if you're including unnecessary keywords just to try to rank your page, they may suspend you. So here's what I would say to you. It's being done at your own caution. I've seen it done and work most of the time. I have also seen people get suspended, and Google will say you got to put it back the way it was.
Yeah.
Ultimately, if they're going to test it, they're going to most likely go to your website, and if they see the same thing on your website, they'll say we're clear here. But if you've added like,
okay, that's a very important distinction.
Yeah.
So if I was doing this because I'm maybe a little more hesitant,
Yes.
right? Because I'm going to front load so much of the right content, all the right photos, all the GIFs, right?
Yep.
Like all the reviews, and not play around with this more advanced, hack, if you will.
Yeah.
And we see the numbers go like this: traffic, do it. It spikes.
It ranks.
And it stays there, and it's pretty remarkable. I'd make sure that whatever I'm putting inside there is also on my website. It's probably also on my Instagram. It definitely should be any other place where they would find you online. That makes sense.
And I would also say if you have a history of community violations or they've red flagged you on things before, this is a no-go for you. Absolute no-go.
For sure.
Because there are two types of suspensions. There's a soft suspension and a hard suspension. A soft suspension basically means just put it back the way it was and things go back to normal. Yeah. A hard suspension means you're a frequent offender and we're done with this. So you basically lose your account.
Don't be that person.
Trusting on you all to know where you are with your standing with Google, but they are definitely looking through the keywords. And I'll go one layer deeper. YouTube's actually the same.
Yeah.
So if my YouTube channel was basically the same as my Google business, Jason Pantana, real estate agent, Nashville, Tennessee, then when people are searching on YouTube as well, for those types of content, real estate focus.
Number 2 search site on the planet?
That's the
YouTube.
one I mean.
We should do a show about that.
We should do a show about that. But here's the deal, and also owned by Google.
Yes.
Fact of it is, Google understands that almost half of their search volume is of local intent. So they're building products that are giving local businesses an absolute unbelievable chance.
Yes.
Yeah. So Google's got your back. You should leverage the tools.
So you're down with GBP, you heard it here first or second or third, but now it's time to actually take action. So use something, share this, make a comment, definitely on the podcast, definitely on YouTube, and maybe follow at Jason Pantana on whatever channel you like. We'll see you guys next week. Take care. Between now and 2025, all the great economists are saying the housing industry is going to continue to boom. So the question is, what are you building? This is the essence of my Blueprint event, where I ask you to take a few days away from your business and dream about the type of business you ultimately want to build. So to make your reservation, go to tomferry.com/blueprint. I look forward to seeing you at the event.